Oh, you lovely, lovely people, welcome back to the channel. Sat in the my little office this morning because my wife is outside with my boy playing in the garden, so I thought a bit of peace and quiet. I don't know for how long. Anyway, today's video is about it's about a police officer who actually assaulted a foreigner in Bohol, and not only assaulted him but also his wife and their baby. Now, what happened? Allegedly, this police officer was intoxicated. He was drunk, pissed, and he saw this foreigner and started shouting at him for no apparent reason, and threatened him, in front of his his wife, who was actually holding their 5-month-old baby. Now, this happened in August, of 2025, last year. And the reason I'm bringing up this story, I don't think anyone's covered it before, but I'm bringing up this story because he was told, they phoned 911 and the police actually came and they removed the police officer who was still shouting at this foreigner, and he punched the foreigner. He punched him in the rib cage. So that's assault, right? Okay. Now, if that had been us, right? If that had been a foreigner, and don't forget, we are guests, okay? So although we are guests and we don't have all the privileges, we should be treated as guests, okay? So, and I mean treated as a guest, meaning people go out of their way to treat you better because we are a guest in this country. So they should be treating us like guests, not treating us like we are bits of scum. We come here, we spend a lot of money here. Not so much the long-term residents like myself, but this holiday maker, which he was a holiday maker. Now, if the shoe was on the other foot and the foreigner was drunk and he was causing a person, especially a police officer, problems, shouting, hitting him, then he would be arrested immediately, okay? And he would probably be on a remand until his court case. Now this, the police actually told the guy, don't take this no further. Just put it down to experience, more or less, and don't take it no further. Now, it's terrible, because this policeman actually drew his firearm as well. He drew his firearm on this family for absolutely doing nothing. He was just drunk. The policeman was drunk, and he just thought, he must have had a problem with a foreigner in the past, I think. I don't know. But what I'm trying to get at is, we as guests here, and most of us behave ourselves. Most of us foreigners who come to the Philippines or in any other country behave ourselves. Any decent, respecting person visiting another country will be on our best behaviour. So we should be treated in the same way back. People should treat us with respect. It's not them all the time. It's not about Filipinos, we in their country, you've got to do this, got to do that. Yes, we are, but we should get some respect back as well, because we do, inject a lot of money into the country, and we do take a lot of, let's just say the ones who are with Filipinos, we do take them out of, you can call it a poor situation, and we put them into a better situation. And many of us still continue to stay here with our Filipinos. Now, I think this is an absolutely terrible case, especially the policemen who were called and they removed the drunken policeman who was still shouting obscenities and swearing and saying F you to the foreigner and that. And he even had the audacity to ask his wife what nationality she was. What nationality are you? Absolutely hideous. And in my eyes, this is utmost disrespect for us. Now, whether I've been quite lucky or not, I don't know, but I've never had any trouble with a policeman here. In fact, on the contrary, the policemen that I've encountered here have always been very friendly. and very accommodating. You can laugh and joke with them. You can do a lot of things. You couldn't do that with a British policeman. You couldn't say hello, good morning, because they would just say piss off, something like that probably, or they wouldn't speak to you at all, or they would look at you like you had three heads. Why are you speaking to me? But here, you can actually do that. You can talk to the policeman, and we got a photograph of my son, because my son loves guns. He loves toy guns, obviously. And we went to the airport to pick up some friends a while ago, and there was the airport security, and they had a machine gun outside. And my son was looking, and I said to the guy, I said, my son, he loves army and police and loves guns. He said, come here. And he actually put his arm around my son and let him hold the gun. Not fully, but just touch it, And we took a picture with it. I mean, could you imagine that in England? It just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. But, getting back to this case, the foreigner did file a complaint. He's filed a complaint, and the police lieutenant, I don't know his name, Colonel Norman somebody, Norman Niev or something like that, said that he wanted the foreigner to make a statement, an affidavit, to proceed with a criminal charge. But they said to him, you're best off just leaving it alone. Just drop it. Drop the case. Don't worry about it. Just put it down to experience. Would they do that with us? No, they wouldn't. They would give us the full brunt of the Philippine law if we was to just do something like that. It's terrible, people. It's terrible. And I've been following this case just to see what's happened, and there's no new news about it. The chances are it's not going to go any further. It's not going to go any further, in my opinion. But it's it does make you wonder sometimes about the Philippines, because it is one law for them and one for us, and it shouldn't be like that. Yes, we are guests, but we should still have some rights, which I think we do have some rights to a degree. But when you have an accident here in like if you're driving a motorcycle or a car, the first reaction from the police is it's your fault. It's your fault, because the way they see it, if you wasn't here, that accident wouldn't have happened. That's how they look at it. They look at things in very strange ways, and you can't think that they're thinking out the box. They just, I don't know what they're doing, but that's their attitude. That is their attitude. And it's a terrible thing. In Europe, when I used to go to Spain quite a lot, and there it was a similar thing, but there were many crazy Brits in Spain back in them days, especially when you go to Benidorm, the shithole of, or the party central really, except from Tenerife and all them places. But Benidorm and Ibiza and all that sort of stuff was the party central. So of course you get the young Brits there making noises, but the police there didn't muck around. They would just whack you one, and then just they would put you in the cell overnight. Maybe charging, or I don't know. But here, I wouldn't even dream of getting out of my tree drunk and causing trouble here. Never. I wouldn't dream of it. Not because I'm in a foreign country, but just because it's just not the thing to do, is it? It's not the thing to do. And even if you're in a foreign country like we are, the last thing that I would recommend anybody doing is upsetting a Filipina or a Filipino, because you're going to come up second best. You really are. Like I've said in previous videos, we are never part of the gang. We are not part of the gang. We never will be. As much as we might have good friends here who are Filipinos and family members, we are not truly in that clique. We are not in that clique. And I think that's why a lot of foreigners hang out together, because they have their own clique, they have their own circle of friends. But me, I haven't really got a circle of foreign friends. I've got a couple that I, keep in contact with periodically, but I don't hang out with foreigners. I really don't. And touch wood, I'm touching wood now, I've never seemed to have a problem with any Filipino here. like wanting to fight me here in this particular place. I've had it in Manila when I first went there, but that was another story. But here, not at all. And as I say, you know, sometimes periodically the police do come around here and just check your passport and just make, you know, Stephen, you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. You know, blah blah blah. They just come around, take some pictures, and make their presence known, because it's the chief of the police in this municipality who decides when they come around and check up on you. Well, I don't mind that. The checkpoints. I've never been ripped off at a checkpoint. You know, I've heard of some foreigners saying on some blogs that I've read on the internet that some of the police have sort of extorted money out of them. I've never had that. I've only ever been extorted once, I think, and that was when I first came here and I wanted to do my license conversion, and it was converted after 3 months of being here, I think it was, after 90 days, and did everything. It was a conversion of my British license, and it should have only cost 2,000 or 3,000 pesos, but it cost 7. And this guy came, Mr. Smith, come here. I went there and he said, hey, you know how this works? I said, no, I don't actually. He said, well, you give me 7,000 pesos. And he had my license printed, my Philippine license printed. And he said, I give you this. I said, yeah, fine, that's okay. Because I didn't know. But then when I went out, I saw some Filipino friends. I said, I've got my license, I've got my Philippine license. And they said, how much did you pay for it? And I said, 70. They said, oh, no, you've been hired by a fixer. It doesn't matter. But that's the first and only time. Here, what does annoy me a little bit here is, and I think this is anywhere in the Philippines, but even here where I live, is that because you're a foreigner and you've got, you know, a concrete house, and you've got like a little van and things like that, and you know, Kanan's got umpteen toys and things, they think that we are rich. The people around here, oh, you got plenty of money, it's no problem for you. I said, no, I said, I haven't got plenty of money. I said, you know, I said, I haven't got a pension yet, I still work, you know, and I said, you know, we live on a bit of savings and from work, you know. We're not broke, nowhere near broke, but we're not exceptionally rich. But to the Filipinos, we are. And that's their assumption all the time. Well, you're a foreigner, you're rich, you know, you can afford this, you can afford that. So they do kind of take the piss a little bit when they're working for you. That's why you've got to be on the case all the time. You know, I don't mean cracking the whip. I mean, if you haven't worked on your house, you've got to monitor it. You've got to monitor if you're a foreigner. I think even if you're Filipino, you've got to monitor them. But anyway, I was going to do a story of Hannah Hawkswell, but thinking about it, I don't think I could do it any more justice than what the documentaries have already done for her. So I've kind of bypassed that a little bit. Maybe I might change my mind and do a video of Hannah Hawkswell, but at the moment, I don't think I could give it any more praise to what the documentaries already gave her. She's a beautiful old lady. Well, she's dead now, but she was a beautiful and a very humble old lady, very humble, hard working, and she was thrown into that kind of life because of her family. But anyway, the sunshine has been out for 3 days here. I'm very, very happy because we've had rain for about 6 weeks, but now the sun is coming out. I cut the grass yesterday. I've almost finished my tiling outside, which I will show you in another video. So then I've only got the 2 bedrooms to tile and this house is finished. We've got to do the surroundings then with some flower beds and things like that, but it's coming on absolutely in leaps and bounds. I will give you a tour of the house once it's all tiled and finished, and I will show you the progress that we've actually made in these last few months. I've been doing it on my own. Just slowly, hinay lang. There's no rush. But listen, people, thank you very much. It's food for thought, you know. These police officers that, like, you know, abusing us when we haven't done anything wrong, especially being pissed. Anyway, thank you. Take good care. It's lovely to see you all, and I hope you have a bloody splendid day wherever you are. Thank you. Take good care. Bye bye.